Hello my friends, and welcome back to Daily English Voices. I'm so glad you pressed play today. It doesn't matter if you're drinking your morning coffee, walking to class, riding a bus after work, or lying down at night with your eyes half closed. I'm here with you for a while, and I want to thank you for choosing growth. Thank you for bringing your attention to this moment. Thank you for giving your future self a small gift right now. You are not only a listener, you are a builder. With every sentence you hear and every sentence you dare to speak, you are building a stronger mind, a calmer body, and a voice that feels more like home. Today we are talking about something quiet but powerful: progress. Not perfect progress. Not fast progress. Real progress, the kind that moves one step at a time, the kind that almost nobody notices at first, and then, suddenly, everyone can see. Progress simply means you are not in the same place as yesterday. It means you took a step, even if the step was small. It means you chose action over excuses, attention over distraction, and effort over waiting for the perfect mood. Many people wait for big moments to feel proud. They wait for a promotion, a certificate, a number on a test, a public compliment. Those things are nice, but most real growth does not arrive with fireworks or loud music. It arrives in quiet mornings and ordinary afternoons. It arrives when you repeat a sentence out loud even though nobody is watching. It arrives when you press play again even though you feel a little tired. It arrives when you forgive yourself for a mistake and try one more time. You might not feel different after one step, after one day, or even after 1 week. But as steps join other steps and days join other days, something changes underneath. You look back and the hill behind you is larger than the hill in front of you. You realize you have already climbed more than you thought you could. Think about your English for a moment. Yesterday you learned one new word. Today you say it out loud in a clear sentence. Tomorrow you text it to a friend or whisper it to yourself as you wash the dishes. Next week you use it without planning. That is a road being built in your brain. At first, the path is thin and weak. It bends under pressure. You forget. You hesitate. But every repetition presses the ground a little flatter. Every real use makes the path wider. Over time, small paths connect to other small paths, and suddenly you find yourself moving faster without trying to run. This is what people call fluency, but fluency is not magic. It is the result of many gentle steps taken with attention. You already understand this in other parts of life. A tree does not arrive fully grown in one summer. It begins as a seed hidden under soil where nobody can clap for it or post a picture of it. In the dark, the seed opens. Tiny roots spread. Water moves. Days pass and nothing appears above the ground. Then one morning a thin green line rises. If you blink, you might miss it. The small line becomes a leaf, the leaf becomes a stem, the stem becomes branches, and the branches hold fruit. Learning works the same way. You will do a lot of quiet work that nobody sees. You will listen again to a line because you want to feel its rhythm. You will pause and repeat a phrase that makes you feel brave. From the outside, it looks small. Inside, it is the strongest thing you can do. Progress changes your relationship with fear. Fear loves silence. It loves waiting. It loves the sentence, "I'm not ready yet." But fear becomes smaller when you move. You will still feel it, especially in the beginning. Your mouth may feel dry, your heart may beat fast, your tongue may forget the simple word you practiced 100 times. That is okay. You can still take the step. The first attempt is the hardest. The second is easier. The third easier than the second. Soon, Fear learns a new truth about you. You move even when you shake. You try even when you doubt. You will not be perfect, but you will be present, and presence is the doorway to every skill you want. You do not need to be perfect to be powerful. Many people believe that strong people never fall, never fail, never say the wrong word. But strength grows in the space between falling and standing up. Strength belongs to those who keep going when the day is not exciting. It belongs to those who practice on quiet mornings and show up on tired evenings. When you build this kind of strength, you carry it into every room of your life. You become the person who returns after difficulty, who tries again after embarrassment, who trusts their own effort more than they trust temporary emotions. You begin to know yourself not as someone who waits for motivation, but as someone who moves first and lets motivation catch up. Mistakes live on the path, and they are not a sign that you are broken. They are a sign that you are learning. A mistake is like a small light showing you what to practice next. Maybe you say, "She go to school every day," and then you hear the sentence again and notice the small yes. That moment teaches you more than 10 minutes of reading about rules. The mistake gives you a gift. It shows you where to pay attention. Your ear learns to hear the difference. Your mouth learns to feel the difference. Your mind learns to accept correction without shame. This is healthy learning, the same process children use when they learn their first language. They try, they miss, they try again, and the adults around them keep speaking and smiling and moving forward. Be that kind adult for yourself. Smile. Speak. Move forward. You might ask, why does progress feel slow? It feels slow because it is honest. It respects how the brain changes. Your brain builds roads with repetition, attention, and emotion. Each time you truly care about a sentence and say it out loud, you tell your brain, "Save this." Each time you listen with real focus, you tell your brain, "We will need this later." Each time you feel proud after you speak, your brain gives you a small reward, and your mind says, "Let's come back tomorrow." Slow does not mean weak. Slow often means solid. Fast wins are sweet like sugar, but slow wins are like bread, they feed you for a long time. You do not need to compare your road to someone else's road. It is so easy to look at another person and say, "They are already fluent," or, "They learn faster than I do." But you do not know their private days, their private fears, their private history. You do not see how they struggle or where they started. Your goal is not to match your life to somebody else's pictures or videos. Your goal is to match your life to your own values. If you value growth, grow. If you value kindness, be kind to yourself while you grow. Let your direction matter more than your speed. If your direction is true, your speed will take care of itself. There will be days when your energy is low and your patience feels thin. On those days, choose a very small step and take it. Shadow a single paragraph. Write 3 simple sentences about your day. Whisper 5 new words as you boil water for tea. On heavy days, do not try to lift the whole world. Lift a pebble. Put it in your pocket and feel its weight. Tell yourself, "I did something real." A small action on a hard day is not small. It is the strongest proof that you can stay in motion. It protects your identity as a learner. It keeps your promise alive. You can design your day to make progress feel natural. In the morning, let English touch your ears before your messages and notifications pull your attention away. Play a short piece and repeat 2 lines out loud. At lunch, read a small paragraph and notice 1 phrase you want to use. In the evening, record a 60-second voice note about 1 moment from your day. Keep it simple. Keep it real. When you hear your own voice, you train your ear to accept your accent without judgment. Your accent is not a mistake. It is a map of your history. Over time your sounds will shift and smooth as you practice, but you do not need to hate where you start to love where you are going. When doubt appears, and it will answer it with evidence. Doubt will say, "You are not improving." You can answer, "Last month I could not follow this podcast, today I understand the main idea." Doubt will say, "You will forget everything." You can answer, "I can still use the 3 phrases I practiced every night this week." Doubt will say, "You are too late." You can answer, "I am on time for my life, and I choose to keep moving." Do not fight doubt with anger. Show it your steps. Show it your days. Doubt is loud, but facts are steady. Hope grows in the soil of progress. Hope is not a wish, hope is the quiet belief that your actions matter. When you notice your own movement, you begin to imagine more movement. When you feel your confidence rise after a small win, you begin to plan a bigger challenge. Hope gives energy to your plan. Energy feeds action. Action creates more progress. You can enter this healthy circle from many doors. If you feel low hope today, begin with a small action. If action feels heavy, begin with a breath and a simple plan. If even a plan feels too hard, begin with rest. Rest is not the enemy of progress. Rest is part of progress. Rest protects your attention so you can return with strength. Let me tell you a story about a learner named Anna. She had good ideas in meetings, but she kept them inside. She was afraid of embarrassment if she said something wrong. She listened to English podcasts every week, but she did not speak very often. She decided to try something tiny. In each meeting she would ask one short question before the end. "Could you repeat that? What is our first deadline? Who will lead this part?" The first week, her voice shook. The second week, people thanked her for clear questions. The third week, her manager asked for her opinion and she answered in 2 sentences. After 3 months, her manager said, "Your voice is clear and helpful." The truth is, Anna's voice was always clear and helpful. Progress did not create her value, it allowed others to hear it. If you want a gentle structure for your week, you can choose a theme, not a rule. A theme is light. It guides you without punishing you. Maybe this week your theme is questions. You listen for questions in conversations. You write down 2 simple questions you can use today. You notice how a question invites connection and gives your mind a break from long answers. Next week your theme could be verbs of daily life. You collect phrases like wake up, get ready, head out, check in, pick up, wind down. You do not need to memorize a giant list. You carry the theme like a small stone in your pocket and touch it during your day. In 1 month you will be surprised at how many living phrases you have invited into your voice. Reflection helps your effort grow roots. At the end of a day, you can ask yourself 3 gentle questions. What did I learn? What surprised me? What is one small thing I will try tomorrow? You do not need long answers. 1 true sentence for each question is enough. When you open your notebook next week, you will see proof that you are moving. Your own words will be your teacher. If you miss a day, you do not need to feel guilty. Guilt makes people hide. Curiosity brings people back. Be curious about the days you miss. Ask why without anger. Adjust your environment. Make it easier to begin next time. Your environment can be your teammate. Place your headphones where your morning eyes will see them. Put a small card near your coffee with 1 phrase you want to use. Leave a pencil and a notebook where you sit in the evening. These small placements remove friction. They lower the number of decisions you must make to start. Starting is the hardest part. When the first step is gentle, you will take it more often. You will stop waiting for perfect conditions and begin with the conditions you have. The way you talk to yourself is the home your mind lives in. If the language inside that home is sharp and cold, your mind will feel unsafe. If the language is honest and warm, your mind will open. You can still be exact and clear without being cruel. You can say, I made a mistake, and I learned, instead of, I am terrible. You can say, this is hard, and I can do hard things, instead of, this is impossible. You can say, I am practicing, instead of, I am failing. These are not lies. They are truthful sentences that keep your nervous system calm and your attention focused. Calm learners learn more. If you like to shadow, choose sentences that carry emotion, not only information. A sentence like, I am proud that I tried, trains the mouth and also trains the heart. When you put feeling into your voice, the rhythm becomes easier to remember. You can create a simple 3-step rhythm that you repeat whenever you can: listen, echo, retell. First listen without speaking. Then echo the exact line you liked. Then retell that idea in your own words. This can take a minute or two. It turns passive input into active practice. It puts your brain, your mouth, and your ears on the same team. There is another part of progress that people do not talk about enough: rest. Progress needs rest the way plants need night. Rest protects attention, repairs memory, and softens the emotional noise that makes learning heavy. You do not earn rest by being perfect. You earn rest by being alive. On days when your body is exhausted, let your practice be as light as a feather. Close your eyes and breathe with one English sentence in your mind: I can begin again tomorrow. That sentence is not an excuse, it is a promise. When you keep that promise, trust grows. Sometimes you will feel stuck. You will feel like you are walking in mud. The same mistakes will repeat. The same words will hide. This is normal. Skills do not improve in straight lines. They grow in steps. You stay on a level for a while, sometimes longer than you want, and then often after a quiet week you step up. The week before a step often feels the hardest. Do not quit on the week before a step. That is when your roots are busy preparing you for the next height. Your progress is not only about you. It touches other people. When you use your growing English to ask a clear question, a team can move faster. When you write a simple, kind message to a friend, a relationship becomes warmer. When you speak up in a family conversation, your children or your younger cousins see a model of courage. You may never know how far your voice travels, but your voice does travel. Your growth gives other people permission to grow. Right now, take a quiet moment with me. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Feel your breath move. Think of one thing you learned recently that you did not know a year ago. Hold it in your mind with a soft smile. Think of one moment this month when you kept going even though it was not easy. Feel that moment like a small fire in your hands. Think of one person, maybe yourself, who benefits when you grow. See their face. Let this be your reason when the day feels long. As we move toward the end of our time together, I want to remind you of a few gentle truths, not as rules, but as friendly companions on your path. Progress is movement, not perfection. Effort is a decision, not a mood. Mistakes are teachers, not enemies. Patience is training, not luck. Hope is evidence you build with your steps, not a wish you wait to find. If you forget these truths tomorrow, that is fine. You can return to them when you remember. The door to the path is always open. You are always allowed to begin again. When you leave this episode, you do not need to do anything dramatic. You do not need to study for hours or rewrite your whole schedule. Choose one action that fits your real life. Maybe it is pressing play on a short story tomorrow morning before your phone steals your attention. Maybe it is recording a 1-minute message to yourself tonight about one ordinary moment from your day. Maybe it is sending a simple question to a coworker in English instead of your first language. Maybe it is walking a little slower on your way home and repeating a phrase you liked today. One action. One promise. One step. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for letting English into your ears and your heart. Thank you for choosing growth in a world that asks you to be fast and loud instead of steady and kind. If this message gave you strength, return to it on a day when you need a quiet friend. Share it with someone who might need these words. Use a sentence from it in your next conversation. Plant a small seed from this hour and water it with your actions.